The Haunting of Room 13. I was exhausted, the long drive leaving me weary and desperate for rest. The neon sign flickered vacancy as I pulled into the parking lot of a motel seemingly plucked from a bygone era. The 13 on Room 13 seemed out of place among the well-worn numbers, but I shrugged it off as superstition. Inside, the dimly lit lobby felt like a time capsule, complete with an old-fashioned bell on the counter. The elderly woman behind it greeted me with a crooked smile, handing me a tarnished key with 13 etched onto it. I chuckled nervously, my unease growing as I climbed the creaky stairs to my room. The hallway was eerily silent, and a chill settled in my bones as I approached Room 13. Unlocking the door, I entered a space that seemed to defy logic. The room was much larger on the inside than it appeared from the outside, and the decor was a macabre mix of antique and modern. But the strangest sight was the child, a creepy figure seated in the corner, her eyes, unnaturally wide and dark, locked onto mine as a haunting smile stretched across her face. "Who are you?" I stammered. No response. The child simply continued to stare, her eerie grin never wavering. I contemplated leaving, but the door wouldn't budge. Panic set in as I realized I was trapped. The child finally spoke, her voice an unsettling combination of innocence and malevolence. "Do you want to play a game?" I hesitated, but the room seemed to close in around me. "What game?" She held out a wooden box, ornately carved and ancient. Inside were a series of marbles, each one with a symbol etched into it. "Choose," she said, her voice dripping with menace. I selected a marble at random, my trembling hand drawn to one with a symbol resembling a twisted smile. The child's grin widened as she placed the marble on a small pedestal in the center of the room. The air grew heavy and the room began to warp and shift, the walls closing in on me. As I struggled to maintain my composure, the child giggled, a sound that chilled me to the bone. The walls pressed closer, the symbols on the marbles coming to life, contorting into grotesque, grinning faces. Time lost all meaning as I was trapped in this nightmarish game. The faces on the marbles mocked me, their grins growing wider with each passing moment. The child's laughter filled the room, echoing in my ears, tormenting me. "You're trapped in my world now," she whispered. I fought to escape, but the room held me in its grasp, the walls closing in until there was no space left to breathe. Just when I thought I couldn't bear it any longer, the room shifted again. I found myself back in the lobby, the elderly woman behind the counter wearing a sinister smile. "Did you enjoy your stay?" she asked. I bolted out of the motel, leaving behind the nightmarish room and the creepy child. But I knew that I was forever changed, haunted by the twisted grins of those malevolent faces. The motel, Room 13, and the child were all figments of a reality that defied logic, a mind-bending horror that would haunt my nightmares for the rest of my days.